this story is going viral, and it's pretty wild to see these companies just wantonly grabbing authors' works. They're literally pirating it, and then they say it's totally fine. Their lawsuits that are developing from it. We'll see. This might develop into class action lawsuits all the way around. There's been multiple already against these AI companies, including OpenAI for ChatGPT, including Microsoft, and now it looks like Meta is getting in trouble because of what they did here, having stolen millions of authors' works just now, which they're claiming is totally fine. Let's get into the news in just a moment. A lot of authors are reacting to this all over the internet. And of course, this seems to be one of those topics that are universally left and right. Everybody is like, this isn't good. Now, I'm not like offended by AI or anything like that. I find AI entertaining. I actually use it myself for some fun purposes for my work. And I don't, of course, create anything with AI because it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't work that way. What I do is I input my books into it. And then I say, hey, can you give me a list of every single character here and like their physical descriptions? That way, when I write a sequel, I have all that information compiled very easily that I don't have to go through and do that all personally. That's the good use for AI. That's the type of thing that it's meant to be doing so that we can actually work faster and make our books better, you'd think. But a lot of authors are very scared of AI. I've never been scared of it because I write so much better than it that there's no way that these algorithms can actually spit out anything that is of any meaning. So it's not a threat to me. But I don't like my work being stolen nonetheless, and I'm on this list. I've got 11 books in here, believe it or not. We're going to go through those too. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you guys for being here and supporting us as we cover all things in the news, especially when it comes to writing and culture, science fiction, and fantasy. I have a new fantasy book out now, which is apparently not in this Meta app just yet. Not yet. Might be later. It's called The Demon's Eye. It's really good stuff. This is classic fantasy brought back. I actually took time to study classic fantasy from Appendix N of the original Dungeons & Dragons, where it listed Gary Gygax and his friends' influences that actually created the fantasy worlds that they went into. Those books from the past really inform so much about fantasy and how good it is. And so I tried to bring it back. This is classic fantasy reborn, my friends. Check it out. It's in the description below. It's called The Demon's Eye again, and I'm going to have that for you. It's only $4.99, so very easy, inexpensive read for your weekend. Makes it easy for you. And a lot of people discovered us overnight. I mean, we had a huge sales day this morning. Thank you so much for making us a big success, and really appreciate you guys being here. And I'm glad that the books are getting discovered. And yes, not through AI, I hope. I hope that people are actually reading them and supporting our channel here. The online world of authors went into a frenzy Thursday as The Atlantic published a piece showing that AI writing has been trained using millions of books without author consent. Meta released a statement defending stealing the work, claiming they didn't seed torrent sites, like that makes it better somehow. So, AI writing has panicked a lot of writers, especially those in establishment fiction. It caused a big uproar last year in the National Novel Writing Month. If you didn't see this, National Novel Writing Month, or NaNoWriMo, actually went out and said it was fine to use AI for their work. And the reason they said so is because there's disabled people who are out there who really can't write without the assistance of AI. And so, if they want to participate, that's fine. Pretty nice of them. Well, that caused an uproar among the people who are like, AI is bad. Oh, they're literally stealing our jobs, doing that kind of thing. And not getting with the times. And so they panicked over it and actually canceled NaNoWriMo. I mean, it was gutted. I've never seen such low participation in it in all of my years as a writer, which is kind of wild. On top of this, the Science Fiction Writers and Fantasy Writers Associations and Horror Writers Association panicked because AI is actually clogging submissions of places like Clark's World Magazine. So apparently people are taking AI and just having them regurgitate stories and submitting them, and it's clogging up their submissions process. Really funny. Now, AI is pretty funny. I could spot the writing from a million miles away because they always say like the same phrases. I wouldn't even need a program to do it because it's so obvious and it's so low quality. That's why I'm like not concerned about it. Like it never works very well because it just doesn't know how to parse the information. Actually, I've even found that when I was using it for what I said at the beginning of the video, for finding the character names and things like that in my books, it would make errors once I actually put multiple books in. Like it would do fine if I put in one book, but once I got into two and I asked it to like compare certain things, asked which characters die or whatnot, it would get answers wrong. And that's I hope that it gets fixed pretty soon, because that's pretty ridiculous that it can't parse through two works. But it seems like when there's two conflicting narratives that it just can't figure it out within its algorithms. And of course, that's why it can't really create, and that's why I'm not concerned about it. Larry Correia from Bain Books had much the same response as I did, that he's just like, it's kind of stupid. Why would you worry about this? He says, I see a lot of newbie authors thinking AI is going to be some super tool. The part you guys are missing, that writing is the fun part. Editing is the hard part. So you're giving the fun part to the machine and then going through and doing painstaking cleanup to humanize it, at least if you don't want it to suck ass. And he's right. And that is exactly it. That is the fun part of creation and the like. Now, what's going around is this Atlantic piece today, where they're talking about this search LibGem and the pirated books database that Meta used to train AI. Millions of books and scientific papers are captured in the collection's iteration. So if you look at this, and you just put in my name here, John Della Arroz, you can see that there's a lot of stuff in here. Look at, there's Justified, Sanctified. This is the entire Nano Templar trilogy was pirated. Gravity of the Game, this was one of my first shorts that went very, very well for me. It's for Steam and Country, my bestseller. Stars Entwined, my second bestseller. Night Training, The Iron Wedding, all of the, it looks like the entire Baron von Monocle series, the Stars Entwined series, and just, well, it looks like they didn't get the last book. That's interesting. That's interesting. Oh, they did get the whole book of this, and they got Book 1 and Book 4 of For Steam and Country. That's really weird. Why not all of them? That's interesting. But anyway, you never know. This ended up on the pirating site on that level. And so you can look at this up and find your works in there. 11 of my books were used for this. Well, this is annoying. And a lot of people are panicking about it. This is Jason Sanford. Jason Sanford is a serial troll. He is best known for harassing Bain Books because he tried to get their forum canceled and taken down just because the fans were posting on there and they were of a political persuasion he didn't like. That's the only reason he's famous. And he gets some attention from the left-wing publishing establishment, even though he's not a good writer himself. And he says, why didn't Meta license these books and papers so they could train their AI? Because that process was unreasonably expensive, might take 4 weeks. Instead, they illegally pirated many books, which he's right about this. That's exactly what they did, but they're going to say it's not illegal. Robert Peacher is a really good writer. If you've not read his stuff, highly recommend it. He's a Western writer, and you can see him right here. Blood on the Mountain. I just finished this audiobook a few weeks ago. Fantastic stuff. You can see very highly rated, very good Western writer right here, and he cranks out stuff like it's nobody's business. And so he says, I guess it's a bit dubious honor that I found 4 of my novels turned up on the list, pirated books that Meta uses to train its AIs. I'm friends with some of the authors who had many more books on the list. I'm not sure if I should be jealous or glad about that. I'm a little disappointed none of the Jackson Speed books made it on the list. Those might have been really skewed the intelligence part of artificial intelligence. You can decide for yourself which way Jackson Speed would have skewed it. Anyway, individual readers and giant billion-dollar companies should not read books off of pirate sites. True. I sell most of my books for under $5. I think only box sets are priced higher than $5. I currently got a sale going where you can get 3 of my books for just 99 cents. Look at this. He's using it to sell his books. That is quality right there, and that's exactly what should be done. Buy his books. He's good. Like I said, Robert Peacher, Blood on a Mountain. I recommend this book. I can vouch for it personally. Good stuff right there. And that's look, you have to take this stuff in stride as a content creator and an author, because if you get angry about stuff at the internet like Jason Sanford is, it really doesn't do you any good. Because this is gonna happen. There's little we can do about it, but there are people suing them over it. And if you look at an article from Tom's Hardware, Meta's defending it. They claim it's legal because they're not seeding content. So they actually took it from a torrent site, which is, if you don't know what it is, there's the original one was called Napster. And torrent sites, like, a bunch of people would seed things on there, and then you'd be able to download it faster because you'd be able to pull from a lot more sources, etc. And there's all sorts of different pirate sites like that out there, and a lot of books end up on those sites. Clearly, mine did by quite a bit. And Meta apparently used a site that aggregated those to get a lot of this content. And they say it's completely legal because they just got pirated material from somebody else who pirated it. They didn't pirate it themselves. It's like, huh. Now, all of these little FBI warnings I used to get on my VHS tapes back in the day, it used to tell me that I was going to go to jail if I just made a copy of it. So if somebody made a copy of it, they'd still go to jail in theory. I guess that's true for the little guy, but when it comes for these giant corporations like Meta, totally fine. Very, very bizarre statement on this level. Now, we'll see how this all pans out for them. These legal battles are not complete yet. Like I said, OpenAI is in one, Microsoft AI is in one, because they are just stealing people's works. This one, literally, they pirated pirated it and got caught pirating it. And that is a bad thing. Left and right can kind of come together and agree on this. And it's not good that Meta is reaping the benefits of our hard work and not paying us anything for it. They should at least give us a few bucks, right? All right, leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Please hit the like and subscribe button, my friends. And do please also check out this wonderful book, but check out my Demon's Eye. I'm going to put this in the description below. Thank you guys so much. It's been a great week, and I really appreciate you guys actually supporting the arts and supporting what we do here, because it makes a difference. We're building something new here. We're building a new model for the publishing industry going forward, and I love having you as a community. You're the best readers out there, and thanks again. Have a great weekend.